Welcome to part 2 of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We're in Marble Garden Zone, and this soundtrack here. Man, this soundtrack. This is perhaps my favorite tune in the game that's unaltered. Yeah, since I'm playing on the PS5 collection, songs have been changed a little bit. Or a lot. Sega did not want to go through the copyright system because, you know, Michael Jackson. So they used the prototype tracks. And get this, they remixed the prototype tracks. And they don't sound as good as the original prototype tracks. But here's Marble Garden in all of its 16-bit glory. Now this place, despite it having the same name as Marble Zone from Sonic 1, it's a bit different from that area. You have these spin tops that are rather unwieldy and weird to control for the first time players, so what you want to do is land on the ground with those. That's when you'll start running across the ground super fast and be able to bash through walls you wouldn't otherwise. You also have these rather annoying enemies called bubbles, which they're kind of like pufferfish in that they'll inflate and become spiky. That's when you don't want to touch them. They are completely invulnerable in the spiky state. Oh, I forgot to mention, whenever Sonic does not have a shield, he does have a move called the Insta-Shield. Whenever you jump and then press the jump button again in mid-air, Sonic will do this split-second scratching motion. Time that ability right, Sonic will negate most attacks that will damage you. Ow. Rude. At least I keep my shield. That's something that did not happen in the original game. You just lose your shield if you hit something on the spin top. So you can pretty much consider the top in the Origins collection a third shield. Time to collect our 5th Chaos Emerald, and this one is actually pretty easy. All you have to do here is follow the path and jump over the bumpers. Nothing is really maze-like in this particular stage. The next one, however, yeah. Oh yeah, you do have to take a leap of faith over some red spheres too. But it's not that bad. Damn, the gray emerald is number 5? It's usually the last emerald. What's going on here? They changed the order, therefore the Chaos Emeralds are ruined. You do want to be careful with Marble Garden Zone because there are plenty of hazards here like crushing spikes as well as a mud pit that will instantly kill you if you stay in it for too long. Think of it as quicksand or the oil ocean from, well, Oil Ocean. That was a different sound effect from what I've remembered. Almost sounded like Sonic landed on spikes or something. Go, Sonic, go! Oh, back to platforming. Which I can actually cheese because I have the Thunder Shield. I can double jump. But I'm going to trade that in for a Fire Shield because I think it's more useful here. Damn it! Oh my god! At least there's a checkpoint here. Let me just get another shield. And I think we're already at the end of this act, so let's get ready to face off against this drill monstrosity. This boss works kind of similarly to how the Mystic Cave Zone boss from Sonic 2 was. He'll drill up into the ceiling, come down, and have a whole bunch of rocks fall down. Well, except this boss moves way quicker than Eggman's drill machine. If you have a shield though, this boss is trivial because the projectiles that fall from the ceiling won't damage you. Here's a fun fact about that signpost is that you can bounce it up into the air, and if it lands on a certain spot, it might spawn an item box. The spot changes depending on the zone. Jesus Christ, we're already at the Eggman boss fight? Nope, but it's just a sneak preview. What we actually have to do is escape this area before it all collapses. I might be thinking of the next go-round. Sonic, what are you doing? I can crouch downhill. Sure you can, Sonic, sure you can. I believe in you, buddy. Oh wow, another spin top? Just lose it. Spin dash under here without getting crushed. And I believe there's also another secret ring somewhere nearby. Just have to keep going straight to the right. This area is pretty tricky if you don't have shields because those trap spikes shoot. And if you get shot and land anywhere near the crusher, you might actually die. But since I had a shield, any gunshot from the trap spike will just bounce off. And speaking of bouncing off, those trap spikes, those aren't really spikes, they're just rubber spikes. Anyway, here's for special stage number 6. This stage can actually be a bit tricky because sometimes you just don't know where to go. This is kind of maze-like. So the strategy for this special stage, or at least how I go about things, is I try to go through one line of blue spheres. That way, I always have a clue of where I'm going and where I've been to. Oh great, now I'm going super fast, I gotta end things quickly. Where's the other cluster of blue spheres? Or blue balls, whatever you prefer. Speaking of blue balls, this game is giving me blue balls just by hiding them. Jump over the red spheres. We should be good. Yeah, we're good to go. I've always hated this special stage. There's just a lot of open space and too many opportunities to screw up. But none of that matters, we just got the 6th Chaos Emerald. One more to go. Pretty cool effects on the Chaos Emeralds right there. It looks like they're actually reflecting as opposed to like disappearing and reappearing like they did on the Sega Genesis version. It's mainly because of limitations. As good as Sonic 3 looked back then and even to this day, still had to abide by the Sega Genesis hardware. The story behind why Sonic 3 was split in half is not as complicated as you think. All that really happened was time constraints and cart limitations. All that coupled with Sega's deal for a Happy Meal tie-in for February of 1994, there was absolutely no time to have the full game released in February of 94, so alas, Sega split the game in two. Sonic 3 will be released in February, and Sonic & Knuckles will be released in October of that same year. Which if you're playing those two games standalone, it did leave a bit of an incomplete feeling. Like say for example you just played Sonic 3 and you reach the ending, it just kind of cuts off. Like the Death Egg explodes again, it just kind of vaporizes. Sonic gives the wagging finger, good job, and he jumps towards the screen. Fade to credits. And in the Sonic & Knuckles portion, if you're playing standalone, you're just collecting the Chaos Emeralds again, even though you should technically already have them, and you should actually just be exchanging them for the Super Emeralds at that point. So a lot of things were screwy with the production, and this time it really wasn't even Sega of America or Sega of Japan's fault. It was just the ambition of this game was too great. And not for nothing too, I mean both the standalone versions of Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles is great. But if you lock them on, you're getting the complete package. Which honestly, is the true way to play Sonic 3. Ouch. Why is ramming into the wall with those things so funny? We're getting closer to the next Eggman encounter. Quote unquote encounter because Eggman runs away again, and we have to chase him down and outrun this area before it all collapses. And you may be wondering if these 2 hits actually counts towards the boss fight that we'll be getting to later. No, they do not. However, when he does show up for the boss fight, Eggman just sits there for a long ass time. You can get free hits on him, like up to 6, which makes the boss trivial. In a strange case, this is one of the few boss fights in the game where everything is different for each character. So Sonic is going to go one way, but if you're playing as Tails, you have to fight the boss a different way, which is actually kind of annoying. And as Knuckles, it's just a completely different boss fight in general. Oh, I'm definitely going to use that lightning shell to my advantage. Alright, so here's Eggman with his drill machine again. And get this, he's just going to float there for like 10 years. I'm going to get 5 or 6 hits on him. The boss fight is already 3/4 of the way finished. But the main gimmick of the fight is Eggman's going to fly away. You, as well as Tails, who is flying you have to catch up and hit him a couple of times. As Tails, the boss fight is extremely complicated because you have to use your tails to attack. The only way to do that is to fly in from below him. And as Knuckles, well, the boss fight is not even in the air. It's kind of like... Honestly, I forgot how it went, but I believe Eggman shoots a whole bunch of harpoons across the screen, which you have to avoid, and Eggman just dives underground sometimes. But yeah, that's Drill Eggman 2.0. Time for some Carnival Night Sound with hilariously bad music.
This sucks.
What the hell is this? What the hell even is this? Look, I know, it's the prototype soundtrack for Carnival Night Zone. But it doesn't even sound like the prototype track. It just sounds like a whole bunch of garbled garbage. Jun Sano, who is one of the main composers for Sonic 3, remixed Ice Cap, Carnival Night, and Launch Base. And I don't know why he done that. The original prototype sounded just fine. They could have just put those versions in there, or better yet, just pay for the Michael Jackson music. I'm completely disappointed and my day is ruined. Sonic 3 is now the worst game ever made. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding about that part, but still. Where's the MJ music? It's like, okay, I understand not getting the MJ involved stuff, but you had decent music in the original prototypes. I don't know why you had to go through the effort of remixing it, but making it 10 times worse. Oh, thank God. Final emerald to go. I actually want to turn into Supersonic here. Alright, so the final special stage is actually not that hard. I've been noticing a pattern where the final special stages in Sonic games, or at least these earlier Sonic games, just kind of give up and challenge. Except for Sonic CD's final special stage, that one was actually kind of hard. What you want to do here is jump over some red spheres, or at least find a way to circle back around, because most of these are already squared off, or at least partially squared off. There's 11 left. Come on, Sega, where's the rest of them? Don't blue ball me by not giving me blue balls. There they are. Oh, goddammit, it's not enough. Where's the other 4? There they are. And with that, we finally got all of the Chaos Emeralds, which means we can finally turn into Super Sonic. Being the golden form of Sonic, he's completely invincible unless you fall into a bottomless pit, drown, or get crushed. Or in some extreme circumstances, which is completely possible even though I've never seen it, be Supersonic while the 10-minute time limit is up. You have to have 50 rings in order to transform, and each of those rings will drain second by second. So if you're skilled enough, you can stay in Supersonic form for a long time, if not indefinitely until the end of the act. Another change about the Sonic Origins collection, which I kind of like, the way you transform into Supersonic is a bit different. In the original version of Sonic 3, whenever you transform into Supersonic, you have to double tap the jump button. In some cases, you will want to perform the insta-shield maneuver, but you still happen to have 50 rings and you're just like, oops, I did not mean to turn into Supersonic. Not so the case anymore. Here you have to press the jump button, which is usually X or circle on the PS4 or 5 controller. Then press triangle to transform in midair. That's how you get around that accidental bit of mayhem. Also, the theme song for Supersonic is very different here. It's no longer the original Invincibility theme, which is like 3 seconds long. Here's the mini-boss for Carnival Night Act 1, which looks kind of phallic, and you cannot damage this thing on your own. What you want to do is have the drill attack for you. But you do want to attack it just so you can open up for the drill to actually damage it. Pretty simple boss, but you want to watch out for the floor, make sure it doesn't get damaged too much, otherwise you'll fall into the pit down below. Oh my god. Prototype Carnival Night Act 2, what'd they do to you? This song has definitely got it the worst out of one of Jun Sano's many remixes of this soundtrack. If you want to listen to the original Prototype, how it's supposed to sound, I'll put it down below in the description box. Oh! Actually, it does sound like clown music now, I will give it that. It does legitimately sound like clown music. Ah shit, it's Knuckles again. Honestly, I kind of forgot he was even in this game. He has not shown up in a long time. But that is Knuckles in a nutshell, at least in the Sonic 3 portion of it. He just comes and goes. And then you finally get to play as him and you're like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Now it all comes together. So this section right here, Knuckles turns the lights off, which doesn't really impede Sonic's progress at all. Not really. I think Knuckles did that just to mock us or something. There's a water level, it's just barely there. All you have to do is go down and that's it. It's more tedious than it is annoying or anything. And if you have the bubble shield, then there's really no challenge at all here. I mean, the water even drains eventually, so should I even call it a water section or not? I do want to comment on this Barrel of Doom that everybody seems to be making fun of. Well, I don't see the point. I don't see the problem. You just go up and down and maybe jump a couple of times just to get the thing going, and that's about it. The first time playing this game, I may have gotten stuck on the thing for like 2 or 3 minutes flat, but I just realized, wait, won't pressing up and down do something? And yeah, it definitely did something. So the thing's a no-brainer. I really don't see anybody spending 10 minutes of the axe timer just to be on the Barrel of Doom. That is absolutely ridiculous, but we're about to come up on the thing in a couple of seconds. Oh no, I'm stuck. I can't go through the wall and I can't go back. What do I do? No. Oh my god. Looks like it's game over. Oh, okay, to be fair, Sonic Origins does add the animations where Sonic looks up and down on the barrel, so I guess I'll give Origins that for the clue. But even still, you just press up and down to move it, maybe jump in order to give it some momentum, and there you go. I did not know Tails could not pop the balloons. That is wild. Jeez, you're a weak fox. Hopefully you actually get to fight Knuckles one day. That guy's actually starting to become annoying. Anyway, here's the boss of Carnival Night Zone. It's Eggman and whatever this thing is. I forgot the name of it. Let me look it up. It's the Egg Gravitron. Now what Eggman will do is he'll drop this ball, this magnetic ball, and he'll use it to suck you towards the electricity. What you want to do is run away from it, or in my case, turn into Super Sonic and just obliterate him. He does open himself up to attacks whenever he goes to get the ball, but you can sneak in some hits with the Insta Shield that will give you some extra reach. That's going to be it for part 2 of Sonic 3. Stay tuned for Friday's episode where we're going to finish this half of the game and move on to the Sonic and Knuckles side of things.